The moment he got out of the van, countless inmates swarmed around, flattering and respectfully greeting him like a boss. A man with such authority went to prison only to take the blame for his brother. But what he didn't expect was that, right after he got locked up, his brother was brutally murdered by a gang. That day, Park Won was diligently working at a sewing machine when the sound of fighting startled him. Turns out it was the new inmate, Yu. Before going to prison, he was a cop, so all the other inmates hated him to the bone. Surprisingly, Yu was incredibly strong. Even when ganged up on, he held his ground. Park Won, annoyed his peaceful moment was interrupted, grumbled, and walked towards the workshop. Seeing this, all the inmates instinctively stepped aside. This way, Yu was rescued, but instead of being grateful, Yu blamed Park Won for interfering and immediately threw a punch. Provoked, Park Won didn't say a word. He grabbed Yu by the neck with one hand and slammed him against the wall. Just a little pressure and Yu, who was so aggressive earlier, passed out. And Park Won tossed him to the ground. Suddenly, he realized he had damaged his beloved pink gloves. Oh no, how could I forget about you? The reason Park Won treasured the gloves was because they were a gift from his close brother before he entered prison. Whenever he saw them, it felt like his brother was still by his side, though he didn't know yet that his brother had died. Soon after, the warden arrived to break up the crowd and called Park Won aside. He handed Park Won a newspaper, revealing the death of his brother. It seemed his brother was killed by a vicious gang. His body had drifted in the ocean for 8 days before being found. Enraged, Park Won slammed his hand on the table. The warden, understanding that Park Won wasn't a bad guy, granted him 2 days of leave to attend the funeral. Once outside, Park Won visited his brother's memorial. After storing the pink gloves away, he silently vowed to avenge his brother. Next, he sought out Ogu, a former comrade. Ogu, once a police officer, was now battling cancer and too weak to help. However, he gave a lead. Park Won should find Yumi, a former colleague. She was currently investigating a group known as the Central Faction. They suspected this group might be behind his brother's murder. Right after leaving prison, he called Yumi. Hearing his voice, she thought he'd escaped, but he said he was on official leave. After a brief conversation, they agreed to meet. At the time, Yumi was escorting a group of prisoners when the van suddenly ran out of gas. Even though it had been fully fueled beforehand, because the area was remote, she had to leave the highway to get gas. During a short break, Yumi saw a beautiful female prisoner being led out. Her name was Kwok, a notorious scammer on the wanted list. It took authorities a lot of effort to finally catch her. As she passed by the prison bus, her long legs and seductive curves caught every male inmate's attention. They drooled and screamed inside the bus. Kwok, unimpressed, flipped them off with a middle finger. This only excited the men even more. She was then loaded onto a transport van. After refueling, the convoy resumed their journey. But only a few kilometers in, a heavy-duty truck appeared and rammed the first police car. Then it hit the second. Its real target was the bus carrying the male prisoners. The bus couldn't dodge and was flipped over. Many inmates were knocked unconscious, while others tried to flee. Kwok quickly unlocked her handcuffs. A masked gang emerged from the truck. Their target was a prisoner named Tang Bu. As they closed in, Yu woke up and attacked them. Even as a prisoner, he had a just heart. Before prison, Yu was a police officer. During one mission, a suspect suddenly died from a heart attack. This led to Yu being wrongly accused of involuntary manslaughter. The gang was well prepared, but Yu wasn't going to let them succeed. Tang Bu took the chance to escape. By the time the gang checked the vehicle, he was already gone. Yu tried to use a police radio to call for help. The gang noticed and attacked him with weapons. Luckily, Yumi regained consciousness and intervened. But even the best martial artists can be overwhelmed. She got stabbed. Yu kicked the attacker away. The thug grabbed another weapon and lunged at him again. Yu fended off all attacks and pinned the attacker to the bus. As he was about to unmask the thug, he noticed a tattoo on his neck. But the thug escaped. Yu stood up and tried to chase him. Unexpectedly, a car slammed into him. When the unconscious and injured awoke, they found themselves in the hospital. Park Won and Ogu visited their injured friend Yumi. Seeing all the victims made Koyu furious. The only one left alive was now battling cancer. Even though the mastermind was still unknown, they were definitely connected to the gang. If they didn't avenge their comrades, they wouldn't be real men. So, Park Won decided to take revenge his own way. He stormed into the gang's hideout. The gang members stood no chance. A few punches from Park Won took them all down. Despite being outnumbered, he dominated. Then he slammed the leader's head on the table and interrogated him. The man confessed their boss was Tanbu, but he was supposedly in prison. Park Won didn't know Tanbu had escaped. Elsewhere, Ogu used Yumi's files to confront the police chief about the prisoner transfer. The chief explained that one of the inmates was Tanbu, the gang leader. A month ago, Tanbu had approached Yumi, claiming he wasn't the true boss and that someone wanted him dead. He was willing to reveal everything about the gang in exchange for protection. The real mastermind used massive bribes to buy politicians and run illegal businesses. Even in prison, Tanbu was targeted for assassination. They had to transfer him elsewhere, but no one knew who leaked the information that led to the prison break. To quickly recapture the escapees, the chief proposed that Ogu return and form a special crime investigation team, gathering former convicts to use their skills in solving the case. Meanwhile, Koyu was in the infirmary. Soon after, Ogu walked in. With his background as a wrongfully accused former cop, Koyu became the top candidate. They promised him that if he joined the team and solved the case, he would get 5 years off his sentence and have his police rank reinstated. The second candidate was Park Won. He didn't care about a reduced sentence. His only goal was revenge for his fallen brother. Then the three began planning the mission. This time, 4 prisoners had escaped. First, a serial killer with glasses. In 2 years, he had murdered 18 people. His victims were all defenseless, the elderly and women. Second, a mid-aged villain with incredible martial arts skills. Even when surrounded by dozens of officers, he could still escape with ease. Extreme caution was required. Third was Tanbu, the main target of the prison break. Last was the con woman, Kwok. As soon as Park Won saw her photo, he said, "I know this woman. She's dating one of the gang members." So the three decided to arrest Kwok first. They set up an ambush at a nearby eatery. Sure enough, her boyfriend was there collecting protection money. The shop owner begged him to delay for a few days, but he immediately ordered his men to chase out the customers. When almost everyone had left, he noticed one man still sitting in the corner. He went over to teach him a lesson. But when the man turned his head, it was Park Won. The thug saw his former boss and stepped back in fear. Park Won sneered, "You've been doing well lately, huh? Seems you've been up to no good." Another thug behind him heard this and got ready to attack, but the first thug panicked and stopped him, yelling, "Run!" Park Won, unimpressed, called him back. The thug who had been so cocky was slammed onto the table with one hand. Park Won ordered him to pay for the meals of all the customers they'd chased away and clean the place up. Got that? Then Park Won called Yun-chun over. But Yun-chun, looking like a ghost, turned and ran for his life. Terrified out of his mind, the man bolts, desperately ducks into a warehouse, locking several layers behind him. But he's still not satisfied. He slips deeper inside, locking even more doors, then stands frozen, barely breathing. But the very next second, he panics and begs Park Won-chul for mercy. He even tries a surprise attack, but Park ends it with a single punch. The next day, the team orders Yun-chun to lure Kwok out. The two embrace the moment they meet, but Kwok quickly senses something's wrong. Then suddenly, Park Won-chul and the others appear. Terrified, Kwok grabs Yun-chun and holds a knife to her throat. But Park doesn't flinch. He charges straight at her. Realizing she's outmatched, Kwok lets Yun-chun go and runs. She stumbles through obstacle after obstacle, almost makes it to safety. But just as she reaches the door, she's cut off by Ko. Surrounded, with nowhere left to run, she drops to her knees and surrenders. They bind her up and drag her back to base. But Kwok isn't one to sit quietly. She screams and kicks non-stop. Left with no choice, the team removes her restraints. Finally free, she learns the truth. The team is chasing down escaped convicts. Just then, Ko rushes in with a lead. Surveillance photos reveal that Tang Bil and No Sang have teamed up, but no one knows how to catch them. Until Kwok steps up and says she knows No Sang. They used to work together. Kwok was the decoy, using her looks to distract, while No Sang slipped in to rob the place. The key is, very few people know what No Sang looks like now. Kwok begs Ogu for one chance to redeem herself. Ogu agrees on one condition: she wears a GPS ankle tracker. If she helps catch them, she'll get 5 years off her sentence. Kwok accepts without hesitation. After downing a soy milk, she begins analyzing No Sang's pattern. Soybean began to analyze. No Sang had committed crimes in every corner of the map, but the only one who had never appeared in Wando Gang. According to his habit, every time he came to a place, he transformed himself into a rich, handsome man to charm single women and hide his identity. Finally, after many screenings, the team narrowed down and targeted this woman. At night, Kwok found the woman. Seeing the woman seem to be sneaking around, she immediately confirmed her guess and asked her if she was going to bring food to No Sang right after that. She said that No Sang was the fake guy who had deceived many women. After hearing this, the woman immediately felt something was wrong, so she went to find No Sang and told the story of the police coming to find No Sang. She was scared and intended to escape that night. Luckily, the police had been ambushing here for a long time. However, it must be admitted that he had quite high martial arts. With just one jump from the porch, he escaped from the two people. Runaway, then he breathed a sigh of relief. Unexpectedly at this time he was knocked down by Bakwoon with an oil barrel. Get up straight, brat. The blindfolded woman was still trying to care for No, but the next second was pressed against No's neck. Only then did she believe everything. Immediately took out the chili spray and sprayed it into his eyes. No Sang couldn't see anything and held a knife and brandished it, but Bakwoon didn't indulge him and rushed forward. A punch made him faint. Unexpectedly, a police car sped towards Bakwoon. Quickly dodged. 2 policemen got out. Off the car and dragged him up. It turned out they came to stealth a credit, forced No Sang into the car and sped away. Ogu, seeing that, everyone was so angry that they had a heart attack that everyone could helplessly watch them leave.